Step into a world of real holiday magic at Coca-Cola's Classic Christmas, debuting November 16th and running through December 29th at Houston's Memorial City Mall. This season, cherished holiday traditions come to life in Houston amid a spectacle of dazzling lights. Crafted by the creators of the renowned world's largest Christmas light maze, Enchant Christmas, this immersive holiday celebration promises to create unforgettable moments of togetherness and joy at this beloved time of year. Learn more at ClassicChristmas.com. That's ClassicChristmas.com. Today on CityCast Houston. Whether you have family and friends over on Christmas and you just don't want to cook, or you just want to enjoy the day off, there are some great restaurants open, and I've got some recommendations for you. Plus, you won't believe how much this ribeye steak costs at Tillman Fertitta's Steakhouse. And look, Whataburger just isn't the same anymore. Houstonia Magazine's editor-in-chief Emma Balter joins me to talk some food. It's Wednesday, December 18th. I'm Rahil Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about. Hey, Emma, what's up? Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So excited to talk about all things food with you. But before we start, I've got to ask you, what is the best thing you've had this month? What's the best thing you ate?
Okay, I might have to give you two different answers because I actually did just come back from New Orleans for a
Ooh,
whole entire week. So I will say that the best thing I ate was probably there, but I do have obviously some Houston stuff to share as well. So I had some really incredible meals while I was gone. I think my favorite was Dakar Nola, which is a fine dining Senegalese restaurant.
okay.
It's so special. I had an incredible meal, incredible experience beginning to end. But they did start us off with this small yuca toast that was topped with smothered onions that tasted like savory jam. It was incredible. And then further topped with Gulf crab and trout roe. And it was just one small little bite, but honestly, if the entire tasting menu had just been this bite every single course, I probably would have been happy.
Oh,
Yeah, it was great. It was a great trip. But just before I left, I did go back to Emma, EMA in the Heights. And I always really have a great meal there. On my last visit, there was this guava lime donut from the pastry case. Oh, it was so good. I'm still thinking about it. The flavors were so vibrant. The donut had this perfect texture. I just love everything that they do there, and it's just so great to see that success. Yeah.
the hard part about going to Emma is when you order their pastries or donuts, they're so beautiful, you feel bad eating them. Like you just want to
Mm.
take a picture and just admire it all day long, but they taste just as good as they look. So
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to next week. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because, look, next week is Christmas week. And well, look, we're going to be celebrating all week long. I know we're going to be off Christmas Eve and Christmas, most people are. And some people will be gathering with families and friends to celebrate Christmas. Some may just not want to cook when
Hmm.
their friends and family are over. And maybe there's people who are just not celebrating and they just want a great meal to enjoy. There's not many restaurants open on Christmas. Like Thanksgiving, it's a big day now where a lot of restaurants are open.
Hmm.
Do
Hmm.
you have any great Christmas Day recommendations or takeout options that we can enjoy on Christmas?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. I feel like there are actually more great takeout options than dining in options, but I do have some recommendations for both. So if I were doing Christmas takeout, I would probably do it from Rainbow Lodge. If you go there, it's a very special experience. It's kind of in this log cabin with this kind of beautiful patio that looks out onto a garden pretty much. So they specialize in game meats, and it's just really fun. I feel like for a holiday, for a special occasion, that's kind of, what I want. So they're serving bison and elk tenderloin and quail and duck,
Okay.
bunch of sides and desserts like chocolate bourbon, pecan pie. Yeah, I think that's kind of like the splurgy, special occasion restaurant that I think I would definitely get takeout from on Christmas.
Okay. Where is Rainbow Lodge?
So it's kind of in the Heights area.
Okay. Now, what's the most like exotic gamey meat that you've tried from Rainbow Lodge? Because bison sounds like something I would never order.
It is delicious. I actually went there recently, and I feel like the bison was probably well, I guess I don't know what is more exotic, bison or elk. I had both.
I would say elk.
Elk, okay.
Yeah, elk sounds like more exotic to me.
It's fun, they do a great job. It's very old school, but it's a good time for a special occasion for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your next rec?
All right, so if you want to go with something that has like a little bit of Mexican flair, I would do Hugo's. So they're serving, for example, a pineapple habanero spiral ham, which just sounds incredible. The sides include things like papas bravas, a tamal azteca casserole, which is kind of one of Chef Hugo's specialties, and then a jalapeno cranberry relish, which sounds way better than the cranberry sauce that you just get out of the can.
Oh, yes.
It's just a fun take on the meal, and I think that is something that kind of adds a little bit of spice to it.
Yeah, that's a great recommendation. Located right there by St. Thomas University, the Manil Collection, just right down the road. So, if you really want to make it adventurous and you want to order that as takeout, you pick it up. You can go sit in the courtyard at the Manil. Manil's probably not going to be open on Christmas,
Ooh.
but you could make it a blanket picnic day. If the weather holds up.
If the weather, yeah, I mean, if it's still like 80 degrees like it is now,
Yeah,
then
might
that
as
would
well.
be great. Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one?
Okay, so then kind of complete change of pace. If you want some barbecue, I recommend Fiji's Barbecue, which has a location in Spring Branch, as well as a location in Greenway Plaza. But I will say that the Spring Branch location has way more options. So if y'all are there or can drive out there, that would be my best bet. So basically, they're offering some of their meats vacuum sealed that come with reheating instructions. So you can have a whole brisket, you can have pork ribs, you can have sausage, you can have turkey breast. And then Fiji's does a really great job with sides as well. So I would particularly recommend the pimento mac and cheese,
So good.
as well as the Korean braised greens, just to add a little greenery in there, because
Yeah, you got it. A little healthy, right?
just a little bit, just a tad, yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that's a great recommendation. Love Fiji's, right there in the Spring Branch area. So you can order pickup and make sure you get the orders in because they do sell out. So you got to act fast. I'm going to throw one more out there for those who want to go eat at a restaurant. I always recommend them because they're open every single day, no matter the holiday, and that is Aga's.
Yes.
If you want some Indo-Pac food, it is great. You can also order their food on Uber Eats. So they usually have a buy one, get one free. But if you just want to drive down to the southwest side, you can always go to Aga's right there off of 59 and Murphy. You'll see the big red sign. So I can't recommend them enough. And you will get great service. That is what they're known for. Order plenty of naan because you will run out. So always get some for the current meal and the next meal as well, because you will have leftovers.
That's a great rec. I love Aga's. It's such a special place. And then if you're dining, like if you really want to eat at a restaurant as well, I would throw in a recommendation for Hamsa. It's in this really incredible Israeli restaurant in Rice Village. So they're open on both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and we'll have their menu available. And what's fun as well is that Christmas Day also coincides with the beginning of Hanukkah. So on the 25th, if you're there, they'll do a menorah lighting at sundown that diners can participate in. My family is one side of the family is Jewish, and one of the side of the family is celebrates Christmas and everything. And so I just kind of felt that was a great kind of melding of the world. So
very nice. Very nice. Okay, speaking of the holidays, now we've done Christmas, but I want to get your thoughts on this because I am very one-sided on this now as a man with 2 kids and a wife. We don't want to go out, but let's talk about New Year's Eve, okay? It is chaotic. I remember when I was younger, I would get suckered into these big group plans with my friends, and we'd be at a restaurant and the restaurant is packed, and the serving staff is trying their hardest to accommodate everybody, but it is just chaotic on New Year's Eve. Are you a going out on New Year's Eve to eat kind of person?
I am categorically not. I have not gone out on New Year's Eve in over a decade. I refuse to. If you want to get scammed or have your phone stolen, which has happened to me,
Oh, wow.
please do go out on New Year's Eve, have a blast. To each their own. I really do think, New Year's Eve, the hassle of paying extra for everything. It's like even somewhere that doesn't typically have a cover will have a cover to enter. And then the food and drink is so expensive. Getting an Uber, good luck, because everyone wants to get an Uber. It's so messy. I'm like, house party or nothing.
Yes.
Either someone invites me over to their house party, or maybe I'm hosting the house party. Or honestly, I've had New Year's Eves where I've just done nothing and it's fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine. No big deal. We usually just do pizzas in the backyard
Love that.
and we'll call it a night by like 10 o'clock, right? The kids are not, they're already tired. And then I'll just stay on the couch and watch, like want to get to midnight just so I can say at least I stayed up for that. But yeah, for the most part, I am totally staying in. But for our listeners who do want to go out and want to keep it low key at the same time, are there any recommendations for mom and pop places, dive bars, kind of hole in the wall where you're not going to get as chaotic of a scene?
Totally. Okay, so if I was going out, and wanted something really low key, I would probably either do Axelrad Beer Garden. It's always a good vibe. There's often music. They have really cool beers, cool cocktails. It's a mostly kind of outdoor space, so there's just this huge, huge backyard area where you can really spread out. So even when it's crowded, it doesn't feel too crowded. You can sit in a hammock. You could have pizza at Luigi's. Yeah, I think that's probably what I would go with. If you want to go even more divey, I have to shout out my absolute fave, West Alabama Ice House. Again, all outdoor bar, super casual and chill, just really kind of good Houston vibes. And again, there's just like a lot of space to spread out. And I think that on New Year's Eve, that would probably be a really great low key vibe.
And of course, Axelrad is right there in the Midtown area, just right there on the outskirts of it. So definitely love that one. And where's West Alabama Ice House?
West Alabama Ice House is in Montrose on West Alabama. It's been there for 100 years, and it's just an institution. So any day is great at West Alabama.
Nice. That's going to be a fun, low key hangout. You get to support local businesses, enjoy the night with friends and family. And if you are in the Montrose area, like Brooke is, our newsletter editor, you can just walk home, hopefully, right? So that's even better.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, somewhere walkable to your home on New Year's Eve is definitely going to take the edge, I think.
Yes. Are you ready for an unforgettable holiday experience? Then you gotta head to Houston's original neighborhood downtown to check out Snow Glow on the Bayou. From December 20th to 29th, Buffalo Bayou at Allen's Landing will become the centerpiece of the season with a spectacular immersive light show projected on a towering water screen. This show is going to blend art, music, technology, and of course, nature. So grab your lawn chairs, blankets, and of course, pack some hot cocoa for Snow Glow on the Bayou. Snow Glow runs daily from 6 to 10 p.m. and here's the best part, it's free. You can learn more at downtownhouston.org/snow, or you can register for free by texting Downtown Holidays to 56512. I'll see you at Snow Glow on the Bayou. Get energized and revive this holiday season in downtown Houston.
For over 50 years, Burlington's legacy has been great deals on coats for all weather conditions. So before you're caught unprepared for the winter weather, head to Burlington for name brands, quality items, and surprising fits for every family member. Stock up on coats, sweaters, and accessories before the cold hits, so you can finally stop avoiding the elements and start living comfortably. Warm up at your nearest Burlington location less than 1 mile away. Burlington. Deals, brands, wow.
Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you about, and this is going to be, I don't know, might be a little controversial, and this is called Check Please. And this is where we're going to give you some hot food takes, especially when it comes to the city of Houston. So on one side of the spectrum, we just talked about low-key New Year's Eve. On the other side, steakhouses are always popular on New Year's Eve. And one steakhouse actually inspired my Check Please. And this could be a hot take. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. But Mastro Steakhouse is now offering a $1,000 Wagyu ribeye steak.
Yep.
Okay, $1,000 for a ribeye steak. Of course, it is the highest prime cut you can get, Wagyu steak. I think Wagyu steak is the most overrated thing ever. I will explain, but I want to get your thoughts first.
It's so funny because this is also what I can't get out of my mind and what I really wanted to talk to you about, Raheel. Listen, this is what I say about kind of luxury items, right? Is if you are someone for whom $1,000 is not that much money, then by all means, order the steak. You will probably enjoy it. Good for you. The rest of, most of Houston, this is like a month's rent and is a ridiculous amount of money to spend on food. I think what this kind of reminds me of is this overall trend in dining right now where restaurants are kind of putting out these stunt dishes, like remember that giant croissant, that coffee shop?
Yeah.
And it just kind of feels at this point like places are putting something like that on their menu for it to go viral on TikTok and then for the media to write about it. And then it kind of creates this loop of attention where now people must go try it because they saw it on TikTok. And it's just not really about the food anymore. I don't know. That's my Grinch opinion.
Yeah. And look, the restaurant scene is hard. The restaurant industry is hard to stand out in. So you've got to sometimes do these stunts, unfortunately. But just in general, Wagyu steak for me, I've ordered it once at a company party. Our company was like, yeah, let's go. We're doing this. You can order whatever you want. And I forgot exactly how much it cost, but it was like a 6-ounce, Wagyu steak. And it was so disappointing. I prefer like a nice char on my steak. I want the seasoning on there. And usually with Wagyu, it's cooked very, very rare. You only have salt and pepper because you want the meat to shine.
Yeah.
It wasn't game changing. It wasn't life altering like everyone tells you because it's more fatty, right? And the marbling is different. I just felt like it was, like give me a nice charred steak with a little blood in there and some good seasoning. And I love Mastro Steakhouse, by the way, right there in Uptown at the Post Oak Hotel. I think it's one of the best. Their service is really good, but I'm not ordering $1,000 Wagyu ribeye, let alone any Wagyu ribeye or Wagyu cut.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a huge steak person. Like, I like meat, but for me, like, I need that seasoning or I need that sauce or I need something else with the meat to enhance it. But if just a slab of meat,
Yeah.
it doesn't excite me. But I know that it does a lot of people. But you're right. I think if something is not going to be for you, then definitely don't spend $1,000 on it or even 100,
Yeah, 100, 200, whatever it costs, right? So, get what you want. What's your check, please? Do you have a hot take today?
Well, that was going to be mine.
Okay. I love it. We agreed on this one. That's a perfect way to end this conversation.
I was like, I know what I'm going to talk about. It's this, on this topic. So Tillman Fertitta, who's the owner of Mastro Steakhouse, Landry's and everything. And, he owns many, many restaurants. He's been buying up some New York City restaurants recently. One of them is Keen's, which is this really old school steakhouse in Brooklyn. It's been there for over 100 years. It just kind of made me laugh because when New York Magazine wrote that story up that Tillman Fertitta had bought Keen's Steakhouse, the first sentence of the article was, maybe New York is dead after all. And it just,
Wow.
it just made me laugh.
Oh, man. Full disclosure, I used to work at Landry's doing
you
their
did?
social media, and
Oh my
Mastro's
gosh.
was one of my accounts.
That's so funny.
Their team is so fantastic, and the service, again, like I still go, and I don't tell them I used to work there or anything. I just show up, and
yeah.
I just love it. But yeah, that is the rep, unfortunately, of Landry's, is that if they're going to buy you out, there's going to be major changes coming.
Yes.
And it might not be for the best. You never know.
You
right?
never know, yeah. But it is interesting that he's looking at the New York City area and kind of, buying more properties there. It's an interesting trend to see him kind of expand his empire that way. So yeah, if you meet anyone or maybe one of your listeners who's had this Wagyu, I would love to hear about it.
Yeah, I'd love to be friends with them. If you can afford $1,000
Yes.
Wagyu, I need to be your friend.
Yes. Please take us out to dinner.
Okay, Emma, I'm going to do one more check, please. Okay. And I know you're the guest, but if you'll indulge me for a second, I've got one more thing I want to get off my chest.
Please.
I feel vindicated because I've been saying that Whataburger has fallen off in the last few
Mm.
years. And I saw this post, executive producer Laura Isensee actually posted this and she shared it with us. And the Washington Post, they have this like really fun travel news tip site called By the Way. And they did a post on Whataburger and what happened to it and how it's fallen off and people are starting to complain. And I've been on this since last year, and I used to get
Mm.
so much hate for this. Like, how dare you criticize Whataburger? How dare you say bad things about our institution? It's not the same anymore since that ownership change. They were acquired by a company in Chicago. And here's why. Their service is not good anymore. It takes forever to get food sometimes. Then the quality just doesn't feel right anymore. And like their buns aren't the same. Something is off. Like it just doesn't hit the spot anymore like it once used to. And I feel so vindicated. So I just wanted to say that and let people know that I'm not the bad guy. I just speak the truth. Whataburger's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, kind of similar, right? They had a change in ownership, a few years ago, and changes come, things happen, and
Hmm.
sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not the same. So, but I appreciate the thought, and I like that you've bided your time and you got
Yes.
people saw your way finally. So, congratulations on
Yeah, I
that.
appreciate, by the way, for helping me out here. Okay. So I appreciate them. And if you want to read that whole thing, I've linked that post in our show notes as well. Emma, thank you so much for joining us and have fun out there. Hopefully, it's going to be a low key New Year's Eve for you. But if you're out and about, maybe we can split that $1,000 Wagyu ribeye.
Oh, sure, yeah, just $500. That works fine for me. Yes. Thank you.
Big thanks to Emma Balter for joining me. Be sure to check out Houstonia Magazine online at houstoniamagazine.com, or you can subscribe for their actual magazine like I do. Yes, they still print magazines. Hey, did this episode make you hungry? If so, share it with 3 friends so you can plan your next foodie adventure. And if you're new here, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening and drop us a rating and review. Want even more food news and recommendations? Check out our daily morning newsletter, Hey Houston, with the info in our show notes. Thanks. That will do it for today. I'm Rahil Ramzanali. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something new.
Okay, so I have to confess something that I did not read your question correctly. So I'm so sorry.